What if I told you one of the so-called poorest countries in Africa just pulled off something that stunned the world, wiping out nearly $4.8 billion in debt, and didn't take a single penny from the West? Sounds unreal, right? Well, believe it, because that country is Burkina Faso, and they're flipping the script in a big way, boldly declaring, "We don't need Western handouts to stand tall." This isn't just a financial move, it's a statement, a quiet revolution, a powerful message to the world that Africa can rise on its own terms.
Burkina Faso's economy was once buried under a crushing $4.8 billion debt, and no one expected salvation without Western aid. But Captain Ibrahim Traore had other plans.
But Africa can rise on its own terms. So here's the question we all need to ask ourselves. Why are we still clinging to the belief that African nations can't make it without outside help? For decades, the West has painted Africa as too dependent, too unstable, too helpless. But Burkina Faso, they just proved otherwise. Loud and clear. Think about it. A country often dismissed as one of the most impoverished in the world just took charge of its future and cleared its debt. Independently, no strings, no Western rescue plan.
Against all odds, he's done what experts said was impossible. He paid it off, without IMF loans, without World Bank strings, and without selling out his nation. Through bold reforms, strategic mineral deals with non-Western partners, and a clampdown on corruption, Traore flipped the money in. This isn't just a financial victory, it's a symbol of African sovereignty. So how did he do it? Let's uncover the game-changing strategy that shook the world. Nationalizing the gold sector, reclaiming Burkina Faso's wealth. President Ibrahim Traore has taken a historic and bold step by nationalizing Burkina Faso's gold mining industry, shifting control from foreign corporations to the state. This move is not merely economic, it is a declaration of sovereignty, aiming to ensure that the country's vast gold resources benefit its people rather than external interests. The creation of the state-owned mining company, Société de Participation Minière du Burkina, SOPAMIB, marked the beginning of this transformative journey. SOPAMIB has since taken control of major industrial gold mines, including Boungou and Wagnion, previously managed by foreign entities. This strategic decision has significantly boosted national revenue. In 2024 alone, state-run operations collected over 8 tons of gold, with more than 11 tons already amassed in the first quarter of 2025. These results reflect the success of Traore's vision and the potential of resource-driven development when managed locally. A cornerstone of this initiative is the establishment of Burkina Faso's first-ever national gold reserve, reinforcing the government's commitment to long-term wealth preservation and economic security. More than just an economic win, this policy has ignited national pride and self-reliance. By reclaiming control over its natural resources, Burkina Faso is charting a path toward true economic independence. Traore's leadership sends a strong message to other African nations. With determination and strategic governance, it is possible to break free from foreign dependence. His actions have made Burkina Faso a symbol of resilience and a model for resource nationalism across the continent.
What if we told you that one of Africa's smallest nations managed to accomplish what some of the world's most developed economies struggle with? Burkina Faso, under the remarkable leadership of President Ibrahim Traore, has wiped out a colossal $4.79 billion in national debt without taking a cent of Western aid. Yes, you heard that right. No loans, no strings, and no compromises. For years, many thought financial independence for African nations was a distant dream. Yet Traore didn't just imagine it.
Strategic debt repayment, achieving financial independence. Under President Ibrahim Traore's leadership, Burkina Faso has accomplished a groundbreaking achievement by paying off its $4.7 billion external debt without relying on Western aid. This feat was the result of disciplined fiscal policies, strategic management of natural resources, and renegotiated trade agreements that favored national interests. A key contributor to this success was the redirection of revenue from the nationalized gold sector. By placing resource wealth under state control, the government was able to allocate substantial funds towards settling the debt while simultaneously investing in critical sectors such as education and healthcare. Rejecting loans from institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, Traore made it clear that Burkina Faso was charting its own course. His declaration that Africa doesn't need the World Bank, IMF, Europe, or America underscores a broader vision of continental self-reliance and economic liberation. This defiant yet strategic move has sent ripples across Africa, prompting other nations to question the long-term costs of foreign dependency. The impact of this financial turnaround is far-reaching. It has not only lifted a heavy burden off the nation's shoulders, but also restored investor confidence, with Burkina Faso now seen as a symbol of resilience and fiscal sovereignty. President Traore's actions have positioned the country as a pioneer in economic independence, proving that through resource control and visionary leadership, even heavily indebted nations can reclaim their future and redefine their place in the global economy.
We are in Burkina Faso. We are in Burkina Faso because there is one important development going on in Burkina Faso right now as I'm talking to you, and this development is unbelievable. I have never seen anything like this happening in Africa, but it is happening right under our nose. This development going on in Burkina Faso is making me to be happy. This is the first time I am being very happy for a president in Africa, and that president is Captain Ibrahim Traore. What Captain Ibrahim Traore did is unbelievable.
Agricultural revolution, empowering rural communities. Recognizing agriculture as the backbone of Burkina Faso's economy, President Ibrahim Traore has made revitalizing the sector a national priority. His administration launched comprehensive initiatives to boost agricultural productivity and uplift rural communities, directly addressing the needs of local farmers. The government distributed over 400 tractors, 239 tillers, 710 motor pumps, and 714 motorcycles across the country. In addition to equipment, farmers received improved seeds and essential farm inputs, allowing them to expand and modernize their operations. These efforts have already yielded impressive results. Between 2022 and 2024, tomato production increased from 315,000 metric tons to 360,000. Millet, a staple crop, rose from 907,000 to 1.1 million metric tons, while rice production climbed from 280,000 to 326,000 metric tons. These gains have significantly strengthened national food security and reduced the country's reliance on costly food imports. Beyond increased crop yields, the agricultural reforms have created employment opportunities and injected new life into rural economies. With more resources and tools at their disposal, farmers are now better equipped to contribute to the country's economic development. Traore's emphasis on agricultural self-sufficiency reflects his broader vision of inclusive and sustainable growth. By investing in the land and empowering those who cultivate it, he is laying the groundwork for a resilient, self-reliant Burkina Faso, one where prosperity is shared from the ground up.
The first cans of tomato concentrate made in Burkina from the tomato processing plant in Bobo-Dioulasso, Burkina's second largest city. Local tomato processing is now a reality thanks to contributions from the local population. This venture into value addition will create great opportunities not only for the city but for the country.
We used to have problems with sales, and when producers managed to export, it was to Côte d'Ivoire. There too, the tomatoes rot on the way. With the arrival of the plant, this handicap has been dealt with.
The transitional president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, invited Burkinabes to subscribe to the shareholding for the plant, eliminating the need for external aid. The plant will help to mitigate waste in the tomato sector due to insufficient storage and processing infrastructure.
Industrialization and value addition, building a self-sufficient economy. President Ibrahim Traore's vision for self-sufficient Burkina Faso centers on industrialization and the strategic addition of value to the country's abundant local resources. In pursuit of this goal, his administration has launched a series of transformative initiatives aimed at reducing dependence on foreign markets and maximizing domestic economic benefits. Among the most significant developments is the establishment of Burkina Faso's first tomato processing plants, allowing locally grown produce to be transformed into finished goods within the country. This shift not only curbs reliance on imported tomato products, but also creates employment and supports rural economies. In the mining sector, Traore inaugurated a state-of-the-art gold mine designed for in-country processing. He also implemented a ban on the export of unrefined gold to Europe, a bold policy move intended to retain more of the resource's value within national borders. By processing gold domestically, Burkina Faso is now better positioned to reap the full financial rewards of its mineral wealth. Additionally, the construction of the country's second cotton processing plant and the launch of the first National Artisanal Cotton Processing Support Center mark key milestones in agricultural industrialization. These facilities aim to support local producers and reduce the export of raw cotton by encouraging in-country textile production. Together, these initiatives reflect Traore's commitment to economic diversification and self-reliance. Through industrial development and value addition, he is transforming Burkina Faso into a nation that not only produces raw materials, but also processes them to benefit its people directly.
Bobo Dioulasso Airport expansion. In a bold move to transform Burkina Faso's aviation landscape, President Ibrahim Traore has announced an ambitious investment of 80 billion francs to overhaul the Bobo Dioulasso International Airport. This strategic initiative aims to modernize the country's second-largest air hub, positioning it as a regional powerhouse in air transportation. This project encompasses the construction of a state-of-the-art terminal with a capacity to handle over 1.5 million passengers annually, along with comprehensive upgrades to the runway, taxiways, and the aircraft parking areas. Additionally, new access roads will be developed to enhance connectivity and streamline operations. Beyond
infrastructure development, laying the foundation for growth. Under President Ibrahim Traore's leadership, Burkina Faso has launched ambitious infrastructure projects aimed at driving economic growth and enhancing the quality of life for its citizens. Recognizing the critical role of infrastructure in development, the government is actively constructing new roads, expanding existing ones, and upgrading gravel routes to paved surfaces. These improvements are strengthening trade routes, improving accessibility, and boosting connectivity between urban centers and rural communities. One of the most significant undertakings is the construction of the Ouagadougou-Donson Airport, a modern facility expected to be completed in 2025. Designed to handle up to 1 million passengers annually, the airport will serve as a gateway to the region, enhancing both domestic and international air travel. It is also expected to stimulate tourism, increase foreign investment, and improve Burkina Faso's standing as a key player in West African commerce. These infrastructure developments are not only physical transformations, they are also powerful economic drivers. The projects are generating thousands of jobs, fostering regional integration, and attracting private sector interest. By investing in transportation and logistics, President Traore is creating a foundation for long-term, inclusive economic growth. Through his focus on infrastructure, Traore is positioning Burkina Faso as a future hub for commerce and transport in West Africa, while ensuring that development reaches every corner of the nation. A leader who cuts his own salary, raises civil servants' pay by 50%, and reduces politicians' wages. Could this redefine governance in Africa? President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is sparking global attention with a bold decision, increasing civil servants' salaries by 50% while slashing pay for MPs and ministers. This move aims to tackle inequality and prioritize public service. But is it genuine? Let's explore the details behind this unprecedented policy shift. Social reforms, promoting equity and cultural identity. President Ibrahim Traore has introduced a series of impactful social reforms aimed at promoting equity, justice, and cultural identity in Burkina Faso. One of his most notable measures was the decision to reduce the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30%, a move that signaled a clear break from elite privilege. At the same time, he increased the salaries of civil servants by 50%, ensuring that those who serve the public directly are better supported and fairly compensated. This policy shift not only addresses income inequality, but also reinforces the government's commitment to social justice and fairness. In addition to economic reforms, Traore has taken meaningful steps to reaffirm Burkina Faso's cultural identity. In a powerful symbolic act, he banned the use of colonial-era wigs by judges in courtrooms, a tradition inherited from French colonial rule. This decision reflects a broader push to decolonize national institutions and foster pride in African heritage and customs. Together, these reforms highlight Traore's vision for a more just, equitable, and culturally independent Burkina Faso. By aligning government priorities with the needs and values of the people, he is working to build a society where dignity, tradition, and fairness are at the forefront. His actions are inspiring a renewed sense of national pride and unity across the country. Housing and social welfare, addressing displacement and poverty. In response to the growing issue of internal displacement caused by ongoing security challenges, President Ibrahim Traore has launched a nationwide housing initiative aimed at providing safe and dignified shelter for affected individuals and families. This ambitious program reflects his government's commitment to ensuring that every Burkinabe has access to adequate housing by the year 2030. The housing units are being strategically constructed across multiple regions to maximize reach and impact. Key areas benefiting from this initiative include the Center-North region, Ouahigouya, Nagreongo, and Bobo-Dioulasso, regions that have been particularly affected by displacement and insecurity. By spreading development across the country, the project fosters a more balanced and inclusive approach to national reconstruction. Importantly, the housing program is funded through streamlined government expenditures. Rather than relying on foreign aid, President Traore has redirected national resources toward essential infrastructure and social programs. This fiscal discipline not only reflects a deep sense of responsibility, but also ensures that development remains rooted in national priorities. Beyond shelter, the initiative contributes to broader goals of poverty reduction, community rebuilding, and social stability. It provides displaced citizens with a foundation for rebuilding their lives while restoring dignity and security. Through this effort, President Traore is turning adversity into opportunity, demonstrating how governance centered on people's needs can transform challenges into long-term progress. Foreign policy and sovereignty, asserting national independence. President Ibrahim Traore's foreign policy is firmly rooted in the principles of national sovereignty and independence. One of his most decisive actions was the expulsion of French troops from Burkina Faso, a move that underscored his commitment to ending foreign military influence in the country. This decision sent a powerful message. Burkina Faso intends to reclaim full control over its security and foreign relations without reliance on former colonial powers. By rejecting the presence of foreign forces, Traore is asserting the nation's right to determine its own path. His stance is a bold declaration of self-determination, signaling a break from historical patterns of dependency and external interference. This approach aligns with his broader vision of economic, political, and cultural independence for Burkina Faso. Traore's leadership is inspiring a shift in thinking across the continent. His assertive foreign policy is being closely watched by other African nations seeking to redefine their sovereignty. Through his actions, he is proving that genuine independence is achievable when leaders prioritize national interests and govern with purpose and patriotism. Captain Traore has proven that Africa can solve Africa's problems without begging from the West. By cutting foreign dependency and unlocking Burkina Faso's true resource potential, he turned debt into opportunity. His vision isn't just for one nation, it's a blueprint for the entire continent. Traore's leadership is a clear message to African youth and future leaders. With courage, unity, and smart strategy, we can reclaim our destiny. While others talk about independence, Traore is living it, and now the world is paying attention. Burkina Faso's debt is gone, and its dignity restored.